So news just in, and Suella Braverman has officially resigned over her position as Home Secretary over a government breach, it seems, and is now being replaced by Grant Shapps. Now, her tenure has been done and dusted in 6 weeks, longer than Kwasi's, but still, 6 weeks is not any time at all. And all this just looks so bad for this current government. So far, we've seen a Chancellor of the Exchequer and the Home Secretary both depart. And these are two of the most important positions in your cabinet. Now, we all know surely this is all in the bid to cover her back, because we've seen a lot of nefarious activity take place in the cabinet, which they've survived. So a lot of this, I do believe, is not just because of government breaches and all this policies. It is a bid to try and save her backside and make it out alive as long as she can do, which, listen, the days are counting down. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Now, Suella's come out firing in her remarks, talking about how, the government's been acting in regards to their apologies and whatnot. And when you just look at this from an optics point of view, if you stand back, there are a couple of things that you just can't not notice. And both of it are bad looks for us if you think about it. The first one is the easy one, which is you have a black one and a brown one, both used as sacrificial lambs that are easy to remove because, again, like I said, Liz wants to stay in charge, and her handprints have been all over a lot of the things that have come out. If you listen to her speeches before, she was put in charge of the Tory government and our Prime Minister. But yet still, of course, in order to stave off the bid to be ousted, a lot of changes have been made. So step right forward, Kwasi, step right forward, Suella Braverman, off you go. And now number two, there's another observation that will definitely be made, is these had to have been token hirings, because let's be honest, if you're going to use all objectivity, be fair and balanced, both of these appointments so far in the short term that they've been there have seemed on paper to be, not on paper, they've been some of the worst appointments for their positions in recent memory. And that says a lot. And some of the things that have been done and said over in less than 6 weeks by both parties have been puzzling, silly to baffling, to say the least. And this is the angle which I believe a lot of people will go down in spite of their academic achievements, because it will go to show, and this is displayed in every aspect of our life, that just because someone has a good CV, just because they're book smart, just because they take a test well, it doesn't mean that when they're in position, they can actually do the job. I'm sure a lot of you can attest to this. I've met many people, book smart, read good smart, haven't got a lick of an idea what to do when they're in a position. And that seems to be the part which, and that's the part that's most critical and completely lacking. And then to top it off, this is another thing which you have to honestly, you have to look at in a pure optics. Their replacements have been whom? White men coming to steady the ship, to save the day. Now, again, of course, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm not saying that then who else is going to be in there? The likelihood of being white men are going to be extremely high, but it's just the optics. When you look at it, you're like, interesting. And if I was a betting man, I would definitely put something on a clean sweep in regards to Liz Truss being removed. I mean, also replaced by whom? That's right. So it looks as if you could argue Operation Get Rid of, the black and brown is in effect. You could argue James Cleverly, I'd watch your back, my friend. So we'll see how things go. But this is definitely shaping out to be an interesting time for this government. But let me know your thoughts on this. Until next time, I'm out.